This presentation is an overview of suction entrapment avoidance provided by AquaCal. It was John F. Kennedy that said, "The great enemy of truth is often not the lie, deliberate, contrived, and dishonest, but the myth, persistent, persuasive, and unrealistic." The subject of suction entrapment is in fact full of myth and misconception. In this presentation, we'll expose these myths and cut through to solutions for you and your customer. There are 5 forms of entrapment: hair, body or torso, limb, evisceration or disembowelment, and mechanical. These categories are defined by the ANSI APSP 7 standard and are a result of the analysis of entrapment epidemiological reports to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. Hair is the most common form of entrapment. It has entrapped and killed more people than any of the other forms. It's also not caused by suction. Hair entrapment occurs when excessive water flow through the cover causes a knot. A common myth is that 1.5 feet per second flow rate through the cover addresses this issue. This is only true on very large covers, in excess of 24 by 24 inches. On small covers, testing has shown that even with 1.5 feet per second flow rate, a full head of hair will block a portion of the cover, and the cover flow rate through the remaining opening will increase. This is where the entangled knot will occur. The only way a cover can be shown to be safe with hair is to test it to the new ASME standard with a full head of hair. States should eliminate the 1.5 feet per second rule. It has no technical basis. Body entrapment is the easiest entrapment to understand. It's also the most talked about. Think of the vacuum cleaner demonstration with a funnel and a bowling ball. When you spread a vacuum force out over a large area, it becomes extremely dangerous. Unfortunately, it's both easy to understand and too much emphasis is placed on this form of entrapment. As we will see, all backup or layers of protection laws are in place to address this single form of entrapment. The majority of entrapments cannot be avoided with a backup. The cover must be installed securely to avoid entrapment. Limb entrapment. It happens in a fraction of a second, and once entrapped, the victim typically must be removed from the pipe surgically. Limb entrapment has even happened with the pump off and the pool drain. Evisceration. Again, this happens in less time than it takes to blink an eye, and backup standards that do not limit vacuum but instead allow full vacuum to exist for 3 to 4 seconds and then release the victim are not enough. Watch this video as water hammer repeatedly hammers the blocking element and vaporizes the water behind the blocking element in the clear pipe. Now watch in slow motion. Imagine that that was a small child's limb or a portion of their intestines. As they pulled away, they would be immediately pulled back in with a force that's great enough to vaporize water. Backups will not prevent evisceration, and a proper cover must be in place to avoid these tragic events. Finally, let's turn to mechanical entrapment. This form of entrapment was a catch-all for all forms that did not fit neatly into the underlying mechanics of the other forms of entrapment. These involved hair accessories, bathing suits, jewelry, and other forms of mechanical issues, like the Chinese finger cuffs that we played with as a kid, once your finger or the object is stuck, it's nearly impossible to pull it straight out. The Pool and Spa Safety Act was named after Virginia Graeme Baker, who died tragically in a residential spa. It was signed into law on December 19, 2007, and provides mandatory entrapment avoidance on all public pools and spas and limits the commerce of suction fittings that do not meet the new 2007 ASME standard or its successors. It is punishable by civil penalties under the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Act. The Virginia Graeme Baker Act requires that all pools and outlets conform to the ASME A112 19.8 2007 or successor standard. They must be installed on all public pools open after December 19, 2008. All new suction fittings sold for residential or public pools must also conform to this suction fitting standard. It also requires that all existing single drain installations be addressed with one of the following options: a safety vacuum release system, a suction limiting vent, gravity drainage, automatic pump shutoff, or drain disablement.